psychodramatic game theory aided us to see narrowed down horizons of the past and to be liberated from hefty presumptions that made us sense and comprehend our common pains. In an effort to show modernity constraining our national culture by challenging our economy at international stock market and monetary exchange system, we made a model for the world. Since the 1975 oil crisis, until now, self-defeating purposes have been visible. Misusing cheap oil, the earth-breathing atmosphere has developed a hole because of excessive consumption. The Tehran Conference in 1949 hosted Churchill, Roosevelt, and Stalin to sign a pact after ending the Second World War, when the pact promised peace, stability, and employment for this oil-rich region. As such, they jeopardized their promises for stability and peaceful development. A jeopardy that our generation has come to regard it as probably a betrayal to our human civil and political rights. The world decision-makers gave a free hand to the social engineers to invest upon the human greed. The next generation of the world decision-makers, realizing a new notion of democratization, they responded to a type of modernity that enabled all to experience the production and consumption of massive products all across the world. They betrayed those promises. By the uniformity of their usage and their consumption patterns.
درمانی الان به کجا رسیدی؟ در چه مرحله‌ای هستی به نظر؟
خوب بوده تا حالا.
نتیجه مثبت گرفتی؟
بله.
تو این خونه زندگی کردن بهتون کمک کرده؟
ولی کسایی که تو غرب زندگی میکنن یاد میگیرن که برنامه درست کنن برای آیندهشون.
کلاً این خاطر درمانی از نظر یه درمان دارم میگم، به عنوان یه درمان از کجا شروع شده؟ یعنی کی این مسئله رو اصلا مطرح کرده که شما میتونید با برگشتن به خاطراتتون با این هدف به خصوص یه مقداری مسائل روحیتون رو حل بکنید؟
فروید و یونگ که اول از استفاده از خاطرات رو توی روانشناسی به طور درمانی استفاده کردن، اینا اول کسایی بودن که اصلا خاطره و حافظه رو راه درمان شناختن.
چند تا تصویر دارم
این تصویرها همون در ارتباط با درمانی شما نوشتین؟ این درست مثل دو تا آدم شده احتمالا شد پدر و مادرتون این
And the mass media feeds the ever-growing needs for information. The advent of consumerism to centralize. The pressures are global, local, and personal. Television increased the excitements of consumerism with commercials so that it reached its apex, and became paradoxical for the humanistic capacities. Yet we know that there must be a way for us to liberate ourselves from the short-sightedness of today's sensationalism. They redressed instrumental consumerism as a cherished value and reintroduced it to the computer craze of the decade behind. The power players of the world managed to show many of their domineering processes in reverse by replacing the parts of the puzzles of the world. On the other hand, seeking the position of the individual layman in response to the global culture was our aim. Recalling bits and pieces of history among friends can help us to find more wisdom in order to go forward progressively and evolve. We can recall the right to pursue happiness as a common liberating dream. We applied psychodramatic methods to examine some of their personal notions about the impact of the world's collective memory upon their selfhood. The psychodramatic game theory aided us to sound and comprehend our common mindsets. In an effort to demonstrate it, we relived it through our world atlas. Everybody began to consume one another, increasing the pace of time. Consume, 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 excited the stock market players. Demean your humanistic wisdom and common sense. Just use up everything was the message the Ziba was the world stock market player, inducing us into senseless consumption mania. Falling into the inevitable traps that exaggerated consumerism can make us desensitized, leading to the oblivion. Consume everybody to the last pit, including yourselves. We have all become instruments for usage, for the main decision makers in the world. Run down your own receptive capacities through the global psychodrama. Or we play psychodramatic games to bridge the gaps of time and places that the global nomad seemed to envision for the sake of being who we are and living with the rhythms and beats of the global culture all across the world. The domination of the mentality regarding ourselves as mere instruments could draw us into our own annihilation. On one hand, consumerism captivates. And on the other hand, it is empowering, bestowing a democratic experience among many of the populations. I saw Arya reading the head of the humanite Firuze in her dreams or nightmares. By my sketching ways came to unveil Arya's traumatic nightmare. She imagined the fear of losing her face to the pressure of the world totally beyond one's right to remember. One's selfhood as an individual. She feared becoming the epitome of consumerism, especially as depicted by humanite Firuze. Are our differences so much more than our commonalities, even when rising from very similar backgrounds, to leave any chance for us to understand one another as persons by oneself? Or is it merely our own impressions reflecting upon others that we communicate with? The artificiality that contradicts the soul motivates to defy the compulsive obsessive behavior. even if the layer has habitually allowed one to forget oneself and fall back to self-hypnotic sleep, passively. Thereupon, one becomes capable of drawing out higher soul and the spirit of one's national collective identity. An identity that is challenged in the bed stream of time passages. Sometimes disregarded by anger and other times by denial. And the right to happiness permits us to liberate ourselves from the nightmares that internal fears intimidate us with. Liberty is a common dream at all times. Could we share our wonders about loving our Creator? Or are we each humanized upon separate islands, who only come to relate to one another when we tear up the other to find usefulness? Can dialogue among civilizations and cultures liberate us from the loneliness and the alienation that encompasses humanity today? A symbol can never be taken in a final and definite image. The laws of the unity of endless diversity in a symbol itself possesses endless aspects that can be regarded with the ability to see it simultaneously from different perspectives or points of view.
شرح بیداری دل ای معنوی در نگنجد در هزاران مثنوی.